So I want to talk a little bit about what happens when you return to work or try to return to work following a car accident. Maybe you were out of work for a while or limited to part-time work or whatever the case may be. Few things to keep in mind. Number one, you should not return to work until you've been cleared by your doctor. This is why it's important to have care with a primary care physician, even if you didn't really see a doctor before a crash. It's really important to have a primary care physician. And if you don't know what a primary care physician is, um, a lot of times it's a family medicine doctor, could be like a PA, physician's assistant in like some sort of a family medicine or general practice, could be internal medicine, as opposed to specialists like surgeons and neurologists and you know orthopedic surgeons, things like that. So it's sort of a generalist who sees patients for day-to-day regular care, maintenance, checkups, things like that. But you want to make sure that someone is releasing you to go back to work, or if there are restrictions that are issuing written restrictions, work restrictions for you, and that you provide those to your employer. You want to make sure that your employer is going to honor those work restrictions. It may actually be illegal in some states for them not to honor those restrictions. It'll depend a little bit on the state that you're in and the employer. Some employers may be more exempt than others. You don't want to go back to work too early. You don't want to aggravate your injury. You don't want to make it worse, obviously, or enduring pain that you don't need to. It's a really tough thing for people, especially if you need the money and you don't have savings. Maybe you don't have a lot of PTO, but it's really important, if at all possible, not to return to work until the doctor clears you to return to work. And if they impose restrictions on you or recommend restrictions, it's really important that you follow those, because you don't want to re-injure yourself. And also, you don't want to give the insurance company ammunition if the doctor says you shouldn't be, let's say, lifting more than 20 pounds, but you go back to your job and you're lifting 40 pounds regularly. You don't want to give them ammunition for you. You do have a duty to mitigate. So let's suppose you can't go back to your regular job. Maybe it's a very physically demanding job because of an injury. You may have a duty to go out and look for alternative employment, light duty, part time. You do have a duty to mitigate. You may not be able to just sit home and wait for you to recover so you can go back to your normal job. So keep that in mind. Be looking for other work, looking for ways to accommodate, to make some income, even if you can't go back and replace all of your income, and then you can claim the difference in a future claim against the insurance company.